So yeah, how was your stream so far, Big Fuzzy Yak?
Stream was bloody awesome. I do apologize that we ran over, but we were having so much fun. We were playing Call of Duty Mobile. I'm playing it on my Samsung S10. So it's a mobile game, and actually, just this week, Twitch has announced with Samsung that they're going to do Mobile Monday tournaments. So there's been a
Really?
lot of people that have been moving their trovo for mobile, but now I think Twitch realized that they were losing a lot of mobile gamers to their site, so they decided to bring in Mobile Monday tournaments, and they're going to try to find content creators to push it and try to get more people back on their site, and that because they realized, hey, we better do something or we're losing these people.
Nice.
Are you
getting?
gonna dip your toes in that? You better get in on that, right?
I mean, I was trying, but I mean, there's only so much I can do.
Yeah.
There's only so much I can
They'll reach
do.
out for you. They'll reach out. Oh my gosh, that's cool. I didn't know they were doing that.
I know. I just found out like a day or two ago about it.
Huh.
So I don't even know if like the news is like circulated on the community at all or not, or if it's still like a new thing that people are still finding out about. But yeah, I'm excited for it. And what mobile games are they gonna push on it? And what are they gonna do to help their content creators? You know?
Mhm.
It was so funny. I rated you, or maybe we rated you. I don't know. My parents were watching, and like they don't know anything about any of this, and we rated over to you. And today I saw my father, and he goes, "Oh, so what are you doing tonight on the podcast?" And I go, "Oh, we're," and that was my Long Island that tried to come out.
I love it.
It's not good. And I go, "We're interviewing BigFuzzyYak," and he goes, "Oh, she's really good at the games that kill people." I was like, the fact you even were paying attention is amazing. So you must be doing something right if like a 60-something-year-old guy from Long Island is watching you. I was like, you must be doing something right.
Not ageist. Everyone's welcome in my streams, so
I'm glad.
Awesome. I'm glad he knew what I did, so it must mean he enjoyed it. So
I'm telling you, it says something. You'll have to talk to him sometime. But let's get into this, shall we?
Okay.
We're excited. This is
like,
big.
should I move more laughter, right? More left.
I'm all over the place. I move everywhere. But we're very excited about this, Missy. Because you are our third guest, our second streamer guest, and you are on the list of dream guests, along with 9 Lives. So we're very excited to have you here. So thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
It's gonna be good. So, anything you want to say, Brad, before we get to the formalities?
No, let's get it started here. My wife had. I will just add in here that even my wife knew who you were, even Gracie. She was like, "Oh, Big Fuzzy Yak, she looks like," and I need to remember who it was because the actress, I could kind of see it. I'll remind me in Discord and I'll send it to you. But I think it was a compliment. It was cute.
I think it was a compliment.
No, it was.
I usually get
nice
the actress that plays New Girl, and then I get Avril Lavigne. Those are the two people that usually what people say I look like.
Oh, I see it. Mm-hmm. Zoe Deschanel?
I don't. Yeah.
Zoe Deschanel is so cute. I can see that.
I see it.
She is so cute.
So if you ever need a stunt double, just sign me up. Yeah.
So Gracie did actually have a few questions for you in Discord. So actually, you had a lot of questions. We're gonna have to make sure that we save quite a bit of time for some questions at the end. So let's go ahead and get this thing rolling, Lex.
Let's do it. So we want to know your backstory. We understand that you are American who now lives overseas. So let's start from the beginning. The baby yak.
The baby yak.
Little baby yak. Is there a name for baby yaks? Like,
you know what? That's a good question. I'm actually not. I actually should know that, but I don't.
It's like
you probably would have think that I would know that. So you want my Big Fuzzy Yak story or the England story first? Which story first?
Let's go growing up. Where did you grow up? Any siblings? Talk about, you as your child. Okay. Yes. Child life. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Ohio. Don't really want to say like it's a small town, only about 5,000 in the population.
Wow.
I don't want to name it. Maybe the heaters might come out of the woodworks and you guys need to get that band hammer out. But yeah, so small town Ohio type of girl. And then I kind of wanted to get out of that. So when I went to college, I went to CSU, which is Cleveland State University, because I wanted to go to the city. And when I looked up at it, it wasn't more, I mean, they had like the major that I wanted, but it was more other stuff that they had. You know, I wasn't really a big football fan, no offense, Brad. So I wanted to go to school that didn't have a football team. So that was actually a big push on it. But I don't really mind football now, it's fun. And, you know, but that was a big push. And I wanted to go to school that had a lot of diversity. So out of all the other schools I was looking at, when I looked at the diversity between everyone, it had the most. So I was going to be able to meet new people from like more places and not just be around what I grew up with. So I wanted a different experience.
What'd you go to school for?
I went for communications, actually, which is a dying major. Don't always recommend people going into it because it's not as respected anymore. But there's a lot of stuff that I learned in it, and I'm glad that I did do it. I just regret that I didn't come out with the 50K paycheck that they try to promise you when you go for it, you know.
They didn't give it to you? What the heck?
I know, you do the schooling and they say you're going to get this job, and then they like, when you graduate, they're like, no, we want you to have 10 years experience. And you're like, yeah, but I'm just starting. How am I going to have that experience? But whatever.
When did you graduate?
Where or when?
When?
So after that, like, depression happened in America with the housing market. So I graduated in 2012, I think. So it was weird. When I was a freshman, everybody, like, at the job fairs, when I was a freshman, everyone's like, oh, when you're a sophomore, you get a job. When I was a sophomore, they're like, oh, when you're a junior, you get a job. When I was a senior, they were like, oh, because everything happened, we only want people with experiences. So the people that were graduating out of my time really had a hard time. And then the people that were graduating like 3-4 years after us, those people were getting right into the jobs, and where people my age were not finding the jobs for what they went to school for.
And what? Yeah. So like, what was like the job goal? Like, what were these jobs that you were trying to like obtain? That you
anything really specifically? I just know like when I was in communications that I learned I really liked CEOs, and that was something that I think in the future I always wanted to do.
You wanted to be a CEO?
Yeah. I always thought like they were really good at like looking at the company and their employees and seeing the research that was out there and being able to make really good, efficient, effective decisions for the company. Where a lot of people can't always do that. They can't have opinions. They don't get enough research before they make decisions. So that was something that I was always interested in.
Yeah.
So I did kind of like look up some CEOs and see how they started. And there was actually one that actually did start with communication. So I said, if he can do it, I can do it. He worked his way up in the company, but maybe I'm taking a different route and maybe it's better for me. Who knows?
Yeah. So what's the, that's awesome. So I'm actually going to have, hopefully the plan here, if things go according to plan, a number of the guests will be CEOs. So hopefully we can get some inspirational people on here for you.
Yes.
And you can get some Ask Me Anythings, and we can help figure out how they got started. But that's interesting. So what kind of jobs do you apply for when your ultimate goal is to be CEO? Because I don't think you have a lot of those opening up. I mean, obviously you're not gonna.
And they want somebody with experience.
Yeah, you're not gonna be a CEO with no experience. So what kind of path do you see there?
That's what I don't know, but I think like the whole like Twitch life is definitely a big part of who I am now, because there's so many things with Twitch you have to learn and teach yourself to do, or you have to collab with other people and ask them how they do that, or you see how they do something on your stream and you ask about it, and you always want to improve and make yourself better, and you're going to want to do that with a company too. If you're a company and you don't evolve with the times, your company's not going to survive. So I think that was it adaptable, or what's the right term for that? But if you can't evolve,
right,
which Twitch teaches you need to evolve, because there's people that we started that we know might still only have one viewer, but they're still doing the same exact things when they started.
So before you became a Twitch streamer though, so you graduated from college, and then you talked a little bit about the job, but how did you end up in the UK?
I ended up in the UK because of my hobby, Panda, Big Fuzzy Panda. You guys might know him as.
So you're Big
Anyone in
Fuzzy
chat know who he
Panda
is?
and BigFuzzyYak?
Yeah,
That's cute.
I was
That's
Big Fuzzy
adorable.
Yak before him, but because like his
Mm.
family's from Hong Kong, like Panda just
That is cute.
it suits him naturally.
And how did you two meet?
We met online. I won't get into too many details. I was still in college. We did play a lot of video games together. He gave me a Valentine's Day present, and then he said, "Do you want to like take things to the next level? If you do, come for your spring break." And
To the UK?
To London.
And that was it? And then you just
And you
moved?
never came back.
Well, I mean, we went back and forth for a while. We had times where like we were writing cards back and forth all the time.
Wait a minute.
Cards are like writing letters to each other is really good if you're in long distance relationships. It's fun to like look forward to that card, and there's more emotion into it than just like a text and stuff. And we would draw
Yeah.
like little funny pictures and stuff in it, and we have so many cards that we wrote back and forth to each other.
Wow.
It like
Wow.
brought the relationship to like the next level, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Well,
What a
yeah,
big leap.
that would definitely make sense for sure.
Yeah.
That's
How
incredible.
romantic.
And when was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, good question. Probably about like 10, 11 years ago now.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've been together for a long time.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that was
goodness.
pretty soon out of college, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like spring break, you flew to the UK and fell in love. Oh, how romantic.
Wow.
That's so cool. So then after college, what happened? You're like, do I move?
So after
the-
college, well, yeah, there was always that, but when I was in my last semester of uni, I got really sick and I spent a month in the hospital. So,
Oh, why?
so I have something called inflammatory bowel disease, and I have the form of ulcerative colitis. What happens is I get inflammation in my colon, which is ulcers. So it's actually
Mm.
like really painful, and you can get really sick if it's not treated. And I got
Mhm.
diagnosed with that in high school. But
Wow.
like I was under a
Wow.
lot of like stress, and a lot of stuff was going on in my personal life in college, and it just went into a big massive flare. So
Oh my
I ended up being in the
gosh.
hospital, and then when I got out, I had 2 weeks left to graduate.
Hmm.
And I just sat all my classes. The first class I sat in, the professor goes, "Weren't you the girl that was like sick and not here?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, we're having a test today." And I said, "Yeah, give it to me." And he's like, "I'll give you time to extra up." I said, "I respect that you're giving me time to make it up, but I don't have time to make up all the stuff for all my classes. I just have to take it and take whatever grade I get." Turns out I took the grade. I got my test back. I got a C, so I passed. Not only did I pass and not be there for the month and not know half of what was on there, he told me that I did better than half the class that was there sitting.
Oh, look at you.
So I was like, okay, maybe I was meant to pass this class and graduate, because everybody wanted me to not go back to school and then get better and then take classes in summer or go back in the fall. And I said, my school's already been delayed like a year because it took me 5 years to graduate. I didn't want to delay it any longer.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I was my senior year. That's when I was starting to get like really annoyed with university life, and I just wanted to like go out there and start my life. So I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to be at university anymore, so I just sat in and got it done with. So
That's awesome. Do you still have like chronic pain, or is it, how do you treat that?
because it's a chronic medical condition, like
Yeah.
you always have it, and you go in periods of like flares and then remission.
Mm.
And like sometimes you can be in remission for a long time, then sometimes you can just get a flare out of nowhere, and the flares can be different every time. There's not like one way that they can treat everybody. They have to treat it
Right.
differently between everybody that has the disease. Because like in a colon, it's like a car. If something breaks in a car, it doesn't break in the same spot all the time, even if it is the same bit of the car. So with your colon is like what, 5 feet long, your large intestine, and you can have
Right.
different flares, and depending where you're like sick in your colon, you need different type of medication that reaches that area. So
Mhm. Oh
and
my
then,
god, how
like, if-
wild.
yeah, and then if medication doesn't work, then you need surgery.
Mm.
So.
And is that something that you would ever have to do, or you're pretty streamlined at this point?
My doctor was thinking that he's like, if you make it so long with the disease, you're more likely to not need the surgery. And he's
Mm.
really hoping that I'm going to be that way. So fingers crossed. But if I need the surgery, then I need the surgery. Because like when you see the people that have the surgery, they come out so inspiring. When you see like them just get back up and keep going and living.
Yeah.
So
I mean, because I also have some chronic like medical stuff, and I have like a community of people on the internet. Have you been able to find that at all for
yeah, there's like on Facebook and
this?
Instagram,
Yeah.
Twitter, and like
Mhm.
even more like as like back when it started, there wasn't too many people, but now there's like huge communities everywhere, and people are just so understanding and accepting. People like, you have this issue, and everybody's like, yeah, I got that, I got that, I got that, and it's like, wow, so you don't feel alone anymore.
I love
That's
hearing the
exactly
positive
nice.
sides. I love hearing the positive sides of social media.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
You don't feel alone. Like someone else feels exactly what you're feeling. What a concept. Especially when it's invisible, you know? It's not a
Exactly.
giant scar on you. It's all happening internally. So that's really cool that you're able to find like a community of people. I was wondering if you had, because I think that's so important for me at
Mhm.
least, you know.
No,
But,
definitely.
Yeah.
so
Definitely.
going back, you moved to
Oh.
the UK.
I did move to the UK eventually. Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Let's talk about
I
this.
know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you moved there, and I imagine it's a little different than Ohio.
So this is
Just a little
where.
bit.
So can I? Let me just talk. Let me just interject here for a second, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Please.
Because this is where I think it's a little bit interesting. Because as Americans, I think we romanticize London. I think it's seen as this really exotic, fancy place, and everybody who has a British accent is like really sexy. It just seems like a really cool place. And so when I hear that you're in London, I'm like, oh, tell me. My initial impression when I hear that, I'm thinking that you're going to tell me all these amazing things about it and how great it is. So I made the flyer for the show, and that was kind of how I thought it was going to be going in. And then you sent me the message, and you said, "Hey, here's a blog I have that kind of talks about my life with COVID, how I handled COVID as a healthcare worker in London." So I started, yeah. So I started reading that, and feel free as I'm giving the story, if you want to post a link or whatever, feel free to do it. But anyway, so I started reading that, and it was really interesting, and I appreciated your perspective, and it showed me a totally different side of London that I'm hoping you'll share with us today, and like help people who have never been there before. Like I'd love to know. So as an American, I'm sure you had visions in your mind of what London was like based on TV shows or records that you heard as a kid, or whatever music that you heard as a kid, or any of that stuff, right? So you had the visions. And then what was that like when you first got off the plane for the very first time? And and then what was it like when you lived there? So I think there's a lot we could learn as Americans, because I'm sure there's a lot of Americans here about how our perceptions vary from reality. So fill us in, Fuzzy.
All right, there's a big difference between coming there on vacation, taking in all the good bits, and leaving and going home, versus coming and living there and then learning about all the stuff that's not so good and just having to learn how to deal with it. It's two very different things. So if people come for a holiday, I would say at least come for like at least 2 weeks minimum, because there is a lot of stuff to see. There's a lot of tourist attractions to see that you guys like the London Eye, Tower Bridge, not London Eye. Or not London Bridge, sorry. London Eye is great. Tower Bridge is the cool looking bridge that's over by like the but like London Bridge is just like, what is that bridge? And people always mix that up. The museums are really good. I'd recommend the History Museum and probably the British Museum out of the museums out of all the ones to choose from. They're usually free as well, because I think it comes out of tax money. I mean, Brits in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Please, loves. People ask me if I can see your messages in the chat. Yes, I can see them. I'm not ignoring you, so thanks for the love in the chat. What else do you guys want to know? The food is great too, because like not only do you get like the British food, but because there's so many people from all over the world in London, you get like the best of both worlds. Whatever food you want from like any country, like you can get it, and it's gonna be like absolutely delicious. Whereas like back home, because I'm from I'll say the Cleveland area, at least give that information out. Sushi there is not like that fresh by the time it actually gets there. But in London, like a couple blocks away, I can just get like fresh sushi that's delicious anytime I want.
Dang.
Perfect every time.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get that. So like I've had to learn to appreciate the bad sushi to appreciate the good sushi.
What are the good foods of London?
Well, I mean, they have really good Indian food. They have a whole like street of it. But then you can get everywhere. Nepalese food is really good. So
Like,
yeah,
what is a
so
good? What would be a good Indian dish?
ooh.
That's what I struggle with. I love Indian food, but I don't know what it's called. That's why I have to get the buffet. Because then I just like I don't know.
Biryanas and curries and there's one that was apparently made for the British.
Yes, tikka masala.
Yeah,
tikka
that one.
Tikka masala is the only one I know is reliable because it's like
I love how
I
they're
know
putting
tikka
tikka masala in
good.
there. But yeah, that
Yes.
was me. That was whitewashed, you guys. Let's be realistic. They whitewashed that for you guys.
I'm sure. Yeah, just like I like Tex-Mex more than real Mex.
Tex-Mex. Oh my god.
I gotta try it all. And then fish and chips. Yeah, fish and chips is pretty good. I always thought the chips were like potato chips, but it's like French fries.
Yeah.
So I always had that wrong until I actually got it. And I was like, they got my order wrong. And they're like, no, you have the terminology wrong. And I was like, okay.
Oh, I love it.
Were you a picky eater growing up?
Yes and no. I don't really like mushrooms. I don't like tofu. There's something else I don't like, but I don't really get it. But yeah, as I got older, I learned to appreciate like different food and things I didn't like as much as kids. It just grows on you.
Does your family ever visit you out there?
They do.
Like-
I wish they would visit more, but it's really expensive and it's 2 flights. So.
Oh yeah. What was their thought of you being like, I'm gonna
Peace out.
peace out?
I know, right?
Like, what was that conversation like? My parents would be like, no, you're not.
They were probably like, good, take her. She's too much for us.
Were they really
No.
supportive or?
Yeah, they wanted me to be happy. So
That's good. That's awesome. Wow. Yeah. I mean, we're heading to Amsterdam, right? Right, Brad?
Are we
Heck
going?
yeah.
Are you going? Would you
we are
meet
doing
us there?
Amsterdam.
You'll meet us
Well,
there?
the thing is, I wanted to do Amsterdam for my birthday in 2020 with my brother, and then COVID happened, and we didn't get to go. So if I still get to have my birthday with him and more people and you guys, like, it'd be like the best birthday. Who says like your best birthday has to be when you're a kid?
Nobody.
Exactly.
I can 100% tell you that every birthday I've had as an adult is better than any birthday I've had as a kid.
Not wrong. Not wrong at all.
No, yeah. No, there were some great birthday parties as kids.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But kids out there, if you think it's tough or whatever, get over it. Real adulthood is so much better.
Get over it.
No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that in a negative way. But like, I'm just saying, like, it'll get better. It'll get better.
Yeah, well, it will get better. That's a good message to tell people. It will get better.
Yeah.
Another big like difference is COVID.
Oh yeah.
We
Oh
talk
gosh.
about this because you were a healthcare worker. So I'm curious because the UK did an actual lockdown. America doesn't know what that means. So what's lockdown like first? What do they have you do or not do?
Well, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that because there is lockdown, but then there's these people that like they're like, oh, you know, I'm gonna fight for my freedom, my rights. So they're still going out doing f all, you know, just doing whatever. They don't care. They think it's made up. They think it's the masks. They think COVID. They think it's all fake. So you got that side of it, and then you got the protests. You got all that going. And then you got the people that believe it. Then you got the people that are sick like me that are chronic. And you got people that are immunosuppressive medication and they're shielding. Like, there's a lot of chaos going on because, like, you know, people believe it, people don't believe it. So then people are taking precautions and people don't. But, like, you like with it, you just have to pretend that, like, everyone around you has it because you don't know because people can have it and give it to you and not have any symptoms.
Right.
So you just have to pretend that now you're in survival mode of life and pretend everyone has it. And you can't always trust people that are around you that have it because if people don't know, they don't know. But if you can do what you can do to protect yourself, take those precautions.
Right. Yeah. in the chat says it's not a lockdown. So are restaurants open there still, or do they?
I think
Have they
takeaway is
regulated
open.
anything?
I
You think
think
what's
takeaway is
open?
open. It's supposed to be a 6-week, I think,
Takeaway?
lockdown.
Okay.
Most people are working from home. You're supposed to be able to go outside to exercise at least once, but people really take advantage of the situation.
That's a pretty serious
So,
lockdown compared to here.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Completely different. It's
So
frustrating.
So here's I find
it's
this to be.
frustrating in lockdown and not in lockdown.
Yeah, there's no fine medium. What were you gonna say,
No.
Brad?
I find that I find a lot of several things to be fascinating about this. Number one is that people. It doesn't seem to matter exactly what the situation is, like whether you're in a state like Texas where there virtually is no, I think it's basically open. Everything's pretty much open. Or in or Arizona or London, where it's a completely different scenario. Everyone is frustrated, so that's interesting. And number two is that the only thing that seems to be different is the way the government is approaching it. But people's attitudes seem to be universal in that there are some people who take it seriously, some people who don't, some people who ding, and everybody's frustrated with everybody else. And so that's super interesting because I think as individuals, like we tend to think that like the place where we are is the worst. Like, oh, Arizona is the worst or whatever. Oh, London is the worst or oh, Texas is the worst. Well, like it's kind of the same way with sports. Like we watch sports teams and we always assume like, well, you know what? Like there's only one team who's like the winner. And you know what? The Cleveland Browns this year are doing great right now, but pretty soon they're going to suck. And everybody's going to say they're the worst because they're guess what? They're not going to, they're not at some point that happens to and so the point is like everybody thinks like their situation sucks. And I've always thought that Americans' favorite pastime was complaining. But I think I'm going to go ahead and broaden that scope and say it's people's favorite pastime is complaining. And I'm not sitting here like saying that people are complaining and like saying like, you know, I'm just saying like, it's just like everybody thinks like they have it worst. It's just an interesting to hear. I love it. I love hearing you talk about it because it makes me feel better.
Oh. Well,
it's not.
You know
all
what?
Fun and
because
dandy.
it's not. It doesn't really matter. Like everybody like thinks that they're. You know what?
Everybody's going through shit and tough times, and we should respect that other people are doing that, and not try to compare what the level is. Just accept it and respect it, and learn from each other. Just help each other.
It's I don't know, but you're a healthcare worker, so you have some interesting perspectives that. So you recently quit that. So what was that like? What was COVID time? What were COVID times like as a healthcare worker?
Kind of just like how it is for everybody else, but I mean, we had to wear the gloves, we had to wear a mask, we had to put a sign on the front door saying don't come in if you don't wear a mask, where people would just ignore it and come in without a mask because they didn't believe in it. Or when they're talking, you know, spit's coming out of their mouth at you and you're like, great, am I dodging the COVID that's coming at me? Because like you don't know if they have it and that's what's coming at you. And then you got like the people that are like really scared and like getting really paranoid about it, and it's freaking it out, and then they're freaking other people out about it. So you got people that are following rules, people that aren't following rules, people just, you know, being themselves, doing whatever it is that they do.
Yeah.
It's interesting to watch how a company takes the information out there and decides for the staff like what they're actually going to do with it, because they need to try to get as much information to make the best decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some decisions were good, and I think some decisions weren't. And if some decisions weren't good, it was like, well, how come you didn't do this? Is it because you didn't think about it? Is it because you trust your staff? Like, what were the decisions made in that? Because we weren't always included in a lot of things, and I think they should have included all the staff in some more things, because it does affect our health.
Yeah.
It can affect our health, we, you know, and our family and our loved ones, just for us working in those places.
What were you doing exactly?
So I was working the front end reception, and I started on the first day of lockdown.
That was your very first day? Your very first day?
my very first day at the job was the very first day that the first
Oh my
lockdown started.
gosh.
2 hours into it, one of the girls at reception decided, I'm out of here, and she just walked out.
Oh no.
Within that week, like everybody else left, and then it was just the temp that was there for a month, and me. So I'm lucky that I had healthcare experience coming into it, but I came off from the NHS going into private, so I had to go off all my NHS all the stuff I learned from NHS coming into private and try to evolve to the private side with it. So I knew my weaknesses going into it from previous jobs, which is why I was trying not to go back into healthcare, because of what I know my weaknesses are, and I didn't want to be put in those situations again. But I did take the job because I did want to help out, and like if these people are having staff quit, I really wanted to be there and just help them, because like it's like, what are they gonna do when their front end is like, sure, they can do the appointments, but for them to have to book all the appointments and educate all the patients to like wear the mask, and if they have symptoms to stay home, that they're gonna be even more burnt out, and they're already burnt out.
Right.
Wow.
But then we had a person that was there for a few years. And she was on holiday, so then she came back. But unfortunately, she was furloughed. So all this knowledge that she has of all these patients and these personal relationships that she has and knows about these people, like we didn't have that. And I wish that she wasn't furloughed. And you know, we had that because nobody knew any of us coming in, and they're all like, we're going through this world pandemic and we don't know any of you. Like if they could have just even sent out an email explaining we've got new staff, this is more about them, so they get to know us a little bit more, like that would have made a huge difference. Because being there for like months and people come in and saying, oh, you don't know this because you're new and you're bad at your job, that was like really offensive, because we're just there trying to help people, and people are just, I don't like, they're not in a great situation. They're letting it out, but sometimes it's just to like a level that you're a person, and it's like you like, all right, I'm just a person, like, and you're saying all this and make me feel like miserable when I'm trying to help you, and you're just like, I can't take it, like that abuse anymore. So
that's important to hear. You know, for anybody out there who's has to go to the doctor.
Be respectful of the staff.
People on the other on the other side of the counter might be a Twitch streamer that you watch and play Call of Duty with.
Life is strange. How wild. So one day it was just enough, like.
Yeah,
it became enough. Like I was getting extremely burnt out, and that was actually making me sick. So I started flaring, and I was going into like when you flare, you start like bleeding from your back passage, and so I was like bleeding every day, and I knew I was getting really sick.
What?
Yeah, because you have ulcers, and ulcers like make you bleed.
Yep.
Wow.
So it's extremely serious because you get anemic, you get all these things that go with it.
Oh my gosh.
So I was getting sick. I was streaming. I was working full time, streaming full time, and I was going into a flare. And then I was just being miserable. I would go to work and I just look forward to coming home to stream, because that's like where I was happy and I didn't feel all the stress and pressure that I was getting there. And then Panda was like, yeah, I think you should just stop. You got to put your health first. And I was like, I feel bad if I don't contribute to the family and the household and like do my bit. And he goes, the best thing you can do is just get better so that you're around.
Yeah, that's totally
true. I was like, yeah, you're right. So we actually did go on like a little trip.
Where'd you go?
To get away and get a break. We went to the Isle of Wight. It's this island at the south of England. And we'd never been there before, and we actually had a really good time. It was just what I needed. I needed time away from work. I needed some time away from my stream. I always kept that open with my community. I said, like, I'm going through a hard time. I'm going on this vacation. I was like, my DMs are always open if you need me, but like, I need this time to just figure out where I stand with myself.
Yeah.
And like the whole time there, I was just like, when you're like trying to enjoy yourself, and all you think about is like how upset you are at your job, that's big red flags.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we eventually just came to the conclusion, like the best thing is for me to not be there. And then things were starting to get worse, and I like had a talk with one of the head doctors, and I said, how the first lockdown went, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be another lockdown. And I said, I'm not willing to work another lockdown with how things were, because I'm not happy with how slow things happen, how slow we got the glass at the practice, how slowly things were moving. And, you know, I said, I've already given you guys all I've got. Like, my battery's done. I said, I don't want to keep going. And then, like, when it happens, you guys can't find someone. And I said, like, when you find someone, please find someone that has probably lost their job from it. So I said that was like the main thing. I was like, you know what, I'm being open and honest with you guys. I mean, I totally love working with them. I respect them. Good things and bad things are gonna happen at every company. I try to be extremely like mature about it and be open about it. And I just say like, this isn't for me. I was like, it's not that I'm trying to let you guys down, but like if I stay any longer, something will happen and I will let you guys down. And I'd rather you guys get somebody in that's new that you can train up right away. So that way when it does happen, she's not like what's like, the person's not like, oh my gosh, what's going on? They'll have a little bit there to help. They'll have the little fundamental building blocks that they need to get through it. And they did. They found someone that did lose their job, and she was a quick learner, and she had a great attitude, and she was thankful for the job. She liked the neighborhood. So I'm really excited for her.
That's great that you put that kind of input in, because people are struggling right now.
I know, and a time where everybody is like fighting to have a job, I left.
Yeah.
But that was the best decision for me, and I have to live with that, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. That's great. So you're streaming full time.
Yeah. So do you how much were you streaming before?
Let's see. I would do probably usually about maybe 40 hours from the work week plus like 12-hour streams on the weekends. So
you were doing you were doing 40 hours.
Yeah, sometimes I would have like a day off during the work, like maybe I would take a Wednesday off or something. So I was doing probably about 50 hours of stream time plus a 40-hour job. So it was a 90-hour.
Did you ever just stream a little bit? Did you ever just stream for fun?
It was for fun the whole time, I'm telling you.
Okay.
I freaking loved it.
Okay. Maybe I
loved it.
That. Did you ever just stream like for a couple hours a week?
I think it was gonna start off that way, but because like my community started evolving, because for some reason with Call of Duty Mobile, it was all like Spanish people when I started. There was like one other person that might have been like an English streamer, and then so I was the first female English streamer during that time that started. So I ended up like getting a lot of attention because it was like, oh my god, this girl actually plays this game I like and she speaks English. Everybody would be like, oh my god, you speak English. And I didn't care. Like I had the translator, Google Translate open on my browser. So anytime anyone typed something that wasn't English, I could translate it and try to communicate with them because I thought it was so important to make connections and I didn't want them to be left out.
Yeah.
So
you just jumped straight in.
I just went hardcore. That's what we do from Ohio. We just go hardcore. We're survival mode.
I remember
people make their excuses and whatever, and I'm like, go.
How long did it take you to hit How long did it take you to hit affiliate?
Oh, well, I was already affiliate before there, but that I don't even remember completely because that was a couple years ago. It was more probably, I don't know if it was like 1 month or 3 months. But like when I started, it's funny because like nothing worked on my stream. Nobody could see the like video.
Of course.
I didn't have a camera sometimes.
Twitch is hard. Twitch is hard, man.
I wish I had like a clip of that so people could see that. You couldn't see like anything on my stream, but I did it anyways, and I always like improved it. You know, I streamed off the Xbox. I learned that you could stream from the Switch to do the Tetris. Then I learned about OBS and getting my laptop involved. I had to buy you had to get the capture card and stuff. You have the laptop on that, but I wanted a better web camera. And the kitty is joining, but I don't know if you guys can see her. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, so I had all that. We had to buy a laptop fan, so that's a fan that goes under your laptop because my computer was just so hot and couldn't process it because the laptop wasn't built for it, but that's all I had. Yeah, and everything just kind of evolved because it's something I enjoyed and it brought me happiness, and why should I not pursue it? Why should somebody take away something that causes me happiness? In your stream, you're not hurting anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
So why not?
Right. How is it just streaming full time? How
many hours are you doing it now? So you were doing the double thing, and now you're doing how many hours a week?
I don't even know because sometimes I plan to stream and I don't because I just vibe with people like in my DMs or in their servers and stuff. Can you hear me? Oh, I thought it cut out.
Yep.
Because the cat is laying on my desk right here, and I'm like, oh, should I do something crazy? But I think she just wants a treat, so I'll just give her a treat. Yeah, she wants a treat. But yeah, like it's not just about like streaming isn't just about like you doing the stream. It's about being involved in everyone else's communities. It's about talking to people in the DMs, in Twitch, on Twitter, in your Discord. Like,
Right.
I always want to know. Like when people ask me like what's going, like they like if they say a bad day, I'm like tell me. And like whether it's a short story or long story, I'm always like just put me the long story. I'm always like put as much rating as you can in my chat because I want to read everything and I want to know more of where you're coming from. If you write one sentence, I can't really feel the gist of where you're coming from. But if you just put it all out there and let me read it, then I can get to know you better, your situation. And like, what if they don't have anywhere else to go and you're that one person that they can talk to and feel comfortable and safe? Then that's everything. If you can provide that for someone, like a non-judgmental, be you
safe space.
Yeah, safe space.
Yeah, it's just it's a community. I'm so happy that you were able to really find one and you found one quickly. I mean, my God. I remember like I left for a while off Twitch and I came back and it was like, like what happened? It happened so fast. I was like, cool. We had a question in your Ask Me Anything. How did you come up with your name? What happened?
Yeah, definitely what happened.
One of the most unique names for sure.
And I get asked about it all the time when I go to other like streamers. They're always like, "Oh my God, I love your name," and I see other people follow, but like they don't get quite the same reaction. So I'm like, okay, maybe my name is a little bit different than everyone. So like our high school growing up, well, something happened first of all, and I had to make a new name because something really bad and dodgy happened when I was a kid with bad internet and bad people on the internet, something like that. And our school, we had our mascot was Hornets. And next to our football field, there were like these things over there, and we always debated if they were cows, if they were Highland cows, if they were yaks. We were always debating what they were, but we really wanted them as our mascot. We'd always joke around and be like, yeah, we want those to be our mascot. And then we're like, when we were talking about it, I was imagining yaks originally to be like bigger than like bison. So I was thinking like bison or like bigger than like mammoths. I was thinking yaks were like these really huge things. I imagine I was like 14 when we were all like talking about this stuff. So I was like young and I was like, you know what? They're big and fuzzy. And I said, I like when they get wet and their fur is all like messed up when it's like wet. I said they might smell a bit funky like that, but like, hey, they're just out there in the rain enjoying themselves, just being themselves. And I was like, yeah, BigFuzzyYak, why not? And now my brother is convinced to this day that he came up with it, and I was like, no, you didn't.
I love that. Oh my gosh,
got it.
And you
got it.
We'd have the story forever. Oh my gosh, I love that. And okay, so streamer life, it's a little different
yeah,
it's a little crazy. What would you say are like the big pros of being a full-time streamer?
Meeting all of you, definitely.
Yeah, the community.
The community is number one. People like there's probably someone in this chat right now. You know, he's from England. This is what I will say. He's from England. He said he was gonna stay up to see this, and he always tries to say, "Fuzzy, focus on the game." And I'm like, no, I'm focused on chat. Chat comes first. And they're like, you'd be better at the game if you focused on it. I was like, yeah, I know I could play better at the game, but I want to know what's going on in my chat. Like I'm always looking at chat. Like, what's going on with you guys? Like, so what?
Yeah.
If I lose a game, we can always win the next one. Come on, you guys. Like, something could happen in chat that's really important, and I might miss it if I don't look up. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. You are very involved in your chat. Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of your stream. Yeah, and you read every single thing out loud. It's really neat. People feel heard that way. So. You definitely
I never thought of it really that way, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And I agree. I Lex and I talked about this before, and whenever I started with Twitch, I thought it was going to be about the gaming and about the Tetris and the stats, and it wasn't. It's not. It quickly becomes about the community. So I totally get it.
That actually happened to me the other day. I was talking to, I think, Mets, because I was going to stream Tetris Effect, and I was like, what if people don't like it because they're not getting in the game with me? And he was like, you do know people go to your channel to hang out with you, not to try and get in some
Tetris
games, right? And I was like, Oh, I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, people
Play a ball.
can go anywhere. Yeah, people can come anywhere or meet anybody. So it's really cool that it's us. Yeah, that's such a cool part of this is the community. What would you say are maybe one of the cons of streaming full time?
I was gonna say
Besides your
cons is,
eyeballs.
like my eyeballs. Great, girl.
Oh my
Come on.
gosh.
They hurt after like
Um,
12 hours of the bright lights going into you, and then a lot of times after
Yeah.
about like 12 hours I start crying, but I'm like grabbing a tissue and wiping and trying to play a game. It's kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to fix my eyeballs but not get shot and die and let my team down, and it's like, well, it is what it is.
It is what it is. what would you say is another con?
Another con is I got bullied a lot growing up. So when I get like those toxic people in my chat, I didn't really know how to handle them. And my chat, when they were saying fuzzy, that's not okay, it kind of empowered me. And then I started promoting mods, and like they started cutting it off right away, so these things didn't escalate. And it was like they
Good.
kind of gave me my power back by doing that and saying, "Don't let people treat you like that." And I was like, I've never had people really stick up for me.
Yeah.
So I have this community where people actually stick up for me if people want to say some really bad stuff or even say something bad about someone else. Like, chat knows what's up. They sort it out.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah, like sometimes they sort out stuff before I even know. Or sometimes, you know, like those messages your mobs like, I don't know what they do, but it's like you can preview it, but it's like deleted in the chat, but you can view it. And I'm like, wait, what did this person actually see? Because it got flagged up. And I'm like looking at it. I was like, all right, good job, mod. And it's nice when you have that trust with your mods, because you got to have a community that you trust on Twitch, because there are a lot of people that are opportunists and they will try to screw you over. And we've had some of that in my community. Oh, Brad's gonna take a very important work phone call because he is a celebrity.
Wow, must be nice. Well, good. Then we can just talk about girl problems because
That's
my
fine.
God, being a
You
chick
can
on
push
this
him over
platform,
for his phone call.
yeah, get out of here.
Get out of here, Brad. Was it that way? Oh nope, it's this way, right?
I don't know which way. I don't even know. Just get out of here.
No, it's that way. I don't know.
It's this way. Yeah, I don't know. Just get out. He's so funny. Oh
yeah, he can't.
But,
he's the one that has to change it. You're right.
What do I have to
yeah,
do?
it's all him.
What?
Yeah, it's all your fault, Brad.
What?
We were gonna have Gold Chat, and we were saying that you could just like move you out of it for a little bit if you wanted, but you could stay too. I feel safe with Brad. He can stay. It's fine.
Yeah, Brad is a safe space.
Brad is a safe space.
Thanks,
Brad.
And
thank you for being a safe space.
Well,
yes.
I appreciate that you think of me that way.
The wow really like, uh-oh.
Sorry, that was my mom calling. I've got to take care of something. So y'all go ahead for just a second if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. All right, so let's talk about this stuff, shall we?
All right.
Because, oh my gosh. So I don't know. Someone one day said, hey, you're good at this video game. You should hop on Twitch. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know what that is. And I think when I hopped on it, I really didn't know what to expect. I don't know. I was an insecure kid, maybe an insecure adult. And then I hop on this platform just kind of thinking it'd be me and my friends. No. It's not, especially at the beginning. I think when you have less viewership,
you know what? You're absolutely right. Yeah.
People are prone to just destroy you for their own benefit. And it took me a lot of soul searching and rebuilding to like really hop on this platform comfortably. Thank God I did find a community. It's died down. Would you say you kind of had a similar experience starting this? Did you know what you were walking into?
What I was walking into. The difference is there's a lot of people that like all these people, they're like growing up with Twitch in their lives, and I didn't know about it. I didn't really know what Twitch was before I started it. Like someone in London for me at my gym, she's like one of my best friends now. Should I shout her out or not? Because I don't want anyone to bother her. She was like, oh yeah, my boyfriend, he does this thing on the side, and like people watch him play games, and sometimes they pay him for it. And I was like, does that not creep him out that people are watching him like play video games and that like he's doing it in front of everyone? Mic check. Is the mic working? Okay.
Yep.
So she said that, and then I looked up the site, and I think I like posted a gaming video or something, and then after that I forgot all about it. And then I was at this job and I kept saying like I like video games. They're like, "Oh, are you on Twitch?" And I was like, "No, but why does everyone keep mentioning it?" And
Right.
I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Maybe I'll look back into it." And then I left that job. Good and bad reasons staying and leaving that job. I had a family emergency. I was just like, you know what, I'm not happy here. You guys know what I want. You guys aren't doing what I want.
Yeah.
So peace out. Like, I can show
Mhm.
myself the door. I said that in the interview. If I'm not happy, I'm leaving. I'm not gonna stay somewhere where I'm miserable and make everyone miserable. I said that with the owner of the company in my interview. And I
Right.
said some
Was
people
it
just don't
lack
get
of
it.
opportunity or what
Yeah.
was it that
Lack
yeah.
of
Mm.
opportunity. I had so much interest of what was going on.
Mhm.
I wasn't involved enough. A lot of times when I would walk into different rooms, like people would be talking about projects, but as soon as I would walk in, they would just stop talking, stare at me, and wait for me to leave to start talking. And I just
Right.
thought like that is so like cliquish to be about that, whether they're talking about something on the weekend or talking about what they're working on for a client. I didn't like that side. And then somebody else that was foreign, she said to me, she goes, "People actually weren't as nice to you when you started." And she goes, "I don't know why, because you're lovely." So yeah, there was there
Great.
was
Yeah.
there was pluses and negatives. I'm glad that I left because I had a family emergency that I wanted to go back home for, and I needed that
Yeah.
time back home with my family and my friends because I was in a bad place, and that was like one of the best times ever that I had when I went back home because I could
Yeah.
just like appreciate those people in my life, and I just had a blast.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
so then after that, when I came back to England, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do Twitch. I need something to chill out and have fun. And people watch people playing video games. You know what? I'll give it a try. I have nothing to
Oh
lose.
yeah.
You know, just go for it. And then ever
Yeah.
since I did, I just kept wanting to learn more about like Twitch and everything about it. You know, like making your image for it and different gaming communities. And like, I think the first day I got really into it, I probably read for about 18 hours, and Panda was like, "This is not good." And I was like, don't hold me back. He goes, "That's not I'm holding you back." He goes, "I don't want you to get like so obsessed with it and like make yourself ill." And I said, "Okay, I respect it that way." But I was like, also like you always like, hear about people that they put in the work, like crazy work ethic, and then it finally just clicks. And I
Yeah.
said, "I don't want you to hold me back from that. Like if I want to put the hours in, just let me put the hours in, because all these other people want to just do like the bare minimum. They don't want to evolve, and I don't want to be like that. I want things to keep
Mhm.
moving.
Right.
I want to keep changing things. I don't want to be the same." And
Mm.
like as you go through things in life, you're never the
Mm-hmm.
same person as you used to be. You change as a person as you age and go through things, and you
Right.
get different situations that come up later in life, and you learn how to handle them differently because like maybe you're on the other side of the situation.
Right.
How many different makeovers do you think you've gone through in your channel?
Oh, I don't know. A lot. A lot. I'm always switching it up. I want to add because like the squat, like I like working out a lot. That's a big part of who I am. So I added like the squats on there and like the push up, sit up thing. But the squats are really popular in my channel, and then it evolved to this like whole dab thing one night where like squats and dabs were getting put in my chat at the same time with channeling points. So then we made squabs. So I squat and do a dab. So that evolved from the stream and people in chat. But I think I have the just chatting stream, but I think I'm gonna make a squat cam. I think that'd be funny. And I think it'd be fun if like people that are watching they join in the squats too and do it.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
love
Like
that.
like if they get involved. Because what if somebody's not good at squats and they do one squat with me one day, but what if like 2 weeks later they say I can do 10 squats? Like, wouldn't that be cool? Just to see that they're improving themselves for my stream and then like they're not alone as well.
Right. I love that. That's a good idea. Huh.
You
Didn't
gonna
even
do
think
some
about
squat flex?
I mean,
You could do other
Well,
exercises.
talk. Yeah. Right.
I
I'm like,
mean, it doesn't
dang.
have to be squats.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how much does your community know about like the outside world? I always kind of was back and forth on how much to share, whether it was like physical, mental health, or personal life. Do you kind of keep that on the back end, or how comfy are you with your community?
It's a little bit of both because I don't
Mhm.
want like I don't want anything to like go back and like affect my family that I do on stream, if that makes
Yeah,
sense. I don't want like
100%.
I don't want to do something and then like somebody walks up to like my dad or my brother or even like my little nephew and it's just like I don't know what you guys are doing, you're making faces, but I love it. But I don't want anyone to like go back to them and say that and then like it hurts them feeling and makes them, you know, like ruins the way that they think about me or people, or the way that like people will treat them differently because of me. Like I want them to still have their lives and not be affected by it. But I also want to speak my truth, and like I put the tags on my stream. I do put like that I support like gay rights and I support that people with mental health, and I always try to see like what people are coming in about because I put those tags on there. I want to listen and I want to understand and support, because how can I be a better person if I'm not seeing what's going on and not trying to help become better myself?
Right. No, 100%.
Maybe I got off topic. So yeah, and I have like a command that explains like IBD, and I know my about section on my profile changed. It's changed a lot.
Yeah.
Because it used to be like, oh yeah, I'm from Ohio, and these are the sports I like, but it changes every so often, especially if I add in new games. And I don't because I used to play different games before. Then I got into COD M like real big. Like I was obsessed with the game, and I found people that just loved it as much as me, and that was great. But then like when I left my job, I needed a break from the game as well. So then I went out and like trying to go back to like the other communities, because it's like, like you, I need to back up in your stream again. I was like, I miss my old Twitch friends that I had. I want to see how they're doing. Yeah. And then there was this one day that Daddy-O was streaming with his son on stream, and this lady, she was just asking him how to do something, and Daddy goes to, I don't want to say your son's name on stream, but says, do you mind if I show like the viewers this really quick while you're playing the game? Like he asked his son's permission, which was like really respectful that he did ask his son for permission to like do that, because it was his son's time streaming the game. So he's like, yeah, he was into his game or whatever, and then he showed us how to do all this stuff, and then like somebody just like donated like 50 pounds to him. I was like, dude, I was like, you could have got donated $50 because he explained how he does like his setup, and I was like, that's actually like really cool. And he was like really chill, like just like being so nice and open and explaining, and I was like, yeah, I support this. And like the other person that helped him, there was just like, yep, here's $50. Thank you for helping me, and not being like, figure it out yourself. Go check out YouTube videos. And I was like, oh, there are different ways to go about it. Sometimes you're stressed and you just want to be like, yeah, just YouTube everything is what I did. But then other times it's like, no, if someone said that to me, I want to be happy.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Well, I mean, that's how this whole thing manifested. At least like with me and Brad, we were like, we started talking to each other about like actual life. And I'm like, oh my God, like we're actual people outside of these webcams. Like, interesting. And we just started talking, and we wanted to know more about the people who we admire and talk to. And it's just interesting getting, your London perspective and, your thought process on all of this Twitch madness. It's just different. And someone said during the 9 Lives interview, they said it's nice to hear us talk without the distraction of the game. And I'm like, there's not enough of this. There's not enough just getting to know.
True, yeah.
Isn't it nice not to be rushed too? Just to take your time.
Yeah, that as well.
Yeah, we've had a few questions. People have asked a few times, how long is the interview? You know what? We don't know. It doesn't matter. We're just going. No rush.
BigFuzzyYak, you guys.
These things don't have a timer on them.
It could be a 10-hour interview. You just don't know.
Generally there'll be. We've had whenever my wife was on for 1 hour, and then 9 Lives was on for probably close to 2. So so whatever you get. We'll see how it goes.
And I did my stream first. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, guys. But I know they asked this because like I do these big streams. And they would ask me, like, are you more at the beginning of your stream or what? Because this way they can go check out other streamers and then come back and still not miss stuff. So I think this is why my community is asking you this.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, I would guess my guess would be probably say about 30 minutes. But I don't know. We'll just kind of see how it goes. I'm just looking at these list of questions
like,
here.
No, not 10 hours. Yeah. It's like, we're going to snap it up real quick.
I don't know. Well, maybe it could be an hour. It could be maybe 2 hours. So who will see?
The real question is we don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah. We don't know, but it will be reposted.
But it won't be 10 hours. I can say that.
Yeah. Not 10. Maybe
Brad's
9.
got real jobs in the real world.
Yeah, we've got adult thing to do. Yeah, I wish I didn't. But yeah. So, any final thoughts on just before I get into like fun facts, like the 8,000 questions we had in You're Asking Me Anything? Is there just like any words of wisdom for chicks on this platform, and just kind of how to go about the beginning of of streaming for all people, but specifically really, really girls, because it can be pretty toxic.
Yeah, it can be really toxic, but there's things you can start doing to like practice before you even go live. You can like start talking to yourself like in a mirror to see what your facial expressions look like, to practice talking. And then like as you're doing stuff around the house, just like narrate yourself. Just like talk and get that dialogue going.
I love that.
I'm like
That's
looking at
smart.
which webcam and I'm like, is she talking or is that, because I've got both the cameras up because Brad's
Oh.
not in the other one, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what?
But
I
then I
could
had to
fix
put
that
them
real
both
quick.
up,
So
so
I
it's like-
figured out, you know
so
how
I don't know what I'm like reacting to when she's talking. So I'm like, is she talking? Then I can't hear anything. That's why I was like, might check all those times, but it's fine.
That's
But
my
like,
bad.
Discord
yeah,
one.
do things to like prepare you before you go live as well, or like even if you do start going live, but do things on the side and then like whatever you like, always have like your post-it notes or journals on the side and like write down things. Like if there's something you're uncomfortable with during your stream, write it down and then work on it later. Either work on it with yourself or reach out to someone that you respect and ask them to help you, you know.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Like now I use my Discord server more for the notes because like I didn't really know how to use Discord really, and I think like this last year I really learned how to like use it and fall in love with it because I found it confusing.
Right. Oh yeah. I tried not to touch Discord for a long time. It took me like 2 years.
I know
to
you
hop on
finally
it.
got it. I'm so proud
Finally.
of you.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
Lex is a
God.
Discord newbie.
I really am. I'm like a month old. I'm an infant, so we're learning.
But even like with the girls, just like go for it. I mean, you don't have to you don't have to have the pressure to use a webcam. You can bring that in when you feel more comfortable after you start talking. Also, that's kind of nice. You can make it like a goal that after you get so many followers that you'll actually get the webcam. So maybe by the time you reach that goal, you'll feel more comfortable. You know, there's all different kinds, but if you're not comfortable with something, don't do it. But they always say that if you don't use a camera, you have to do more work talking because people don't have facial cues and recognition and they can't see your expressions and goofy stuff. So there's that, but just be confident in you and a person. Just know that there's always gonna be someone that's gonna back you out, and there's always gonna be haters. There's always gonna be haters, whether they're jealous or unhappy. It's not you. Just know it's not you. Something going on with them. What's their issue? And you don't have to solve everyone's problems as well. You can try, but they might get mad at you for trying to help as well. So you never know.
That's so true. Like, all right, never mind.
Yourself is the most important thing, and then be honest. If something like makes you nervous, let your community know, and they can have that. It opens that dialogue, because you don't know who's in your community. You don't know like what job they do that can help. You don't know if they're a streamer and they've had it. Just keep that dialogue open. I think it's so important. Like I kept saying I was really nervous for this interview. I was like, Discord, yo, I'm nervous. Chat, yo, I'm nervous. And they're like, yeah, but you'll be great. And I was like, yeah, but I'm nervous. And then I was like, I think it's good nervous because it means something to me. So
that makes me
feel good. Getting nervous is okay.
Yeah, butterflies. Nothing wrong with butterflies.
Yeah, like that's what I said today in my chat. I said I got butterflies in my stomach, and I don't know the last time I ever had butterflies in my stomach.
Yeah, I got stage fright for the first time when we went live with this. I was like, I don't.
You did great though. You were just like a natural, and you just were just like happy. And I was like, yeah, this is great. I love it.
Y'all are doing. You're doing great.
More
Fuzzy.
of this.
I couldn't tell you were nervous at all, Fuzzy. You've been doing great.
Oh yeah.
I know. It's my poker face I'm told I hold.
Poker face. It's a good poker face.
Poker face. Poker face.
I knew you were gonna do that. Why did I know you were gonna do that? Let's see. So we've got a ton of questions. Like,
all right, let's get started on these questions. I don't want them to feel like they're ignored and like not gonna get answered. They've been patient. I respect them being patient. So
yeah, like holy cow, putting all these into a format. So let's go with like some favorites, some fuzzy favorites. Favorite book or books?
Probably Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I think that came out this morning in Nine Lives community. I really like science fiction. I'm convinced that The Man Who Fell to Earth is actually about Elon Musk as well. And I have a couple other science fiction books that like some I've started reading and some I've bought. My husband's banned me from buying books because I haven't read the ones that I have, but science fiction's my category. I'm all into that nerd stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. Favorite TV show?
Hold on.
Favorite TV show?
Hold on. Don't go into
Cute.
favorite. Hold on. I want to back
I don't
up.
have my towel, guys. Where's my
Hold
towel?
on. Let's back up. Let's tell me more. Let's tell me more about the book. Like, tell me more about your favorite book, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Why?
Well, I mean, it takes place in England.
Mm-hmm.
And I like outer space, and this guy, he doesn't really seem to like his life, and things happen, and he gets beamed up into a spaceship, and then like everything that he knows is just like thrown out of whack, and then like when he's on the spaceship, it was like this girl that he liked or dated ended up being on the spaceship, and it was just like, what a coincidence.
Zooey Deschanel. Zooey Deschanel, your girl who's trying to look like you. She's basically copying you. Your doppelganger. Yeah, there you go.
My doppelganger. Yeah, I don't want to spoil the rest of it. I know a lot of people find the movie boring. My brother and I love watching it because we find we love the movie, but it also puts us to sleep. And we wake up and the movie's on a loop, and we always wake up where we fell asleep, and then like we recatch it. But it's funny, and the book is great because it's like the 5 books. But I've got the book that has all books in one. And I have one copy in America, and I have one copy in England with me.
So, which do you prefer, the book or the movie?
I mean, I love them both, but books have more information in it, so I have to go with the book.
Oh.
So.
What about the TV? Isn't there a TV series?
I think it was like a radio type TV series, but I never got into that bit.
Okay.
I've never tapped into that. So like I love the whole thing. Like the Secret of Life is like the number 42, and like Towel Day or whatever. I what day is that, everybody? I'm always like, yeah. When everybody says 42 in my chat, I'm like, yeah, I got you. I know where you're coming from.
Lex, have you read it? Have you seen the movie, or have you read it, Lex?
I've seen the movie, but I haven't read it.
I haven't read it either. I don't know. Gracie literally just finished it today.
No way! What a coincidence.
So she watched the movie.
Really
we just watched the movie as a family, and then she just finished the book today.
Oh,
the reason
you watch the family.
Yeah, so the reason that she's doing it is because she's on a kick from Ready Player One. So that book had a part in Ready Player One. So she's kind of doing the whole Ready Player One thing. So next up is, I don't know if I think she did The Hobbit, and I don't know. So anyway, that's that. So what's the next question, Lex?
Favorite TV show? Yeah.
Favorite TV shows. I wish Panda wasn't sleeping in the other room, or is he in the chat? Because he's much better about the whole TV shows. But like as you were saying, I like The Boys, and I like
love that show.
Love the little baby Yoda for The Mandalorian.
All right, so we got The Boys and The Mandalorian.
What was that? Gosh, what was that chess show that just came out too?
Which one?
I really like that one. The one about chess. I can't think what it's called, but
it
was done really well.
Queen's Gambit.
Yes, that was done really well. I really liked it. Yeah.
So,
there's more.
Mandalorian, did you love the ending of the
It's funny because I wasn't really ever into Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So when the ending happened, I didn't really know what was happening fully. And Panda had to explain it to me, and I was just like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And then other people that know I've been watching the show, like, try to get in my DMs to really talk about the last episode, and I go, I don't know what you're talking about, because I didn't really follow it.
I see.
Growing up. I've seen the movies, but I need to sit down and watch everything in order that way as an adult.
Would you say that Mandalorian is your favorite Star Wars thing?
Yeah.
Lex, would you agree?
Yeah.
I would too, and I think most people, unless you're hardcore, I think most people say it is, which is amazing because it's like something that Jon Favreau made. Shout out Swingers, first Jon Favreau movie. Anyway,
that's funny.
But anyways, it's a totally side project, and yet it's fantastic. It's awesome.
Yeah, and there's a lot of new like movie technology that went into it because Hubby says it wasn't just like a green screen behind them. It was actual like footage that was like moving behind them. But not only that, there was this one episode, and every time something happened with Baby Yoda, I kept saying, dude, that's Among Us. He was like in this little thing, like holding the wires. And I was like, we do that in Among Us. And then he did something else. I was like, this whole episode is Among Us. Is anybody else seeing this? And like my honey is just like, what are you talking about? I was like, we do these tasks in Among Us, and he's doing them like right now. This is funny. And I don't know if they meant to go there, but to me, I had no idea. I took away from it, and I loved it.
It's hilarious.
That's so funny. I would have never thought of that.
So if you
my
haven't played
God.
Among Us, yeah, you have to do that, and then we have to figure out what episode it is to watch it, and then you can see like what's relatable, and it's like maybe it'll just blow your mind like it did mine.
That's hysterical.
And then what was your other one? Oh, and so wait a minute. You still call him Baby Yoda, I noticed.
I know, Grogu. I think I'm always gonna call him Baby Yoda.
Do you still call him
Forever.
Baby Yoda, Lex? Yeah, we do too.
I'm never.
It's always gonna be Baby Yoda.
Come on.
So that's
for
an
me.
interesting.
And then like I went to the
interesting-
store and I saw the pajamas and I had to buy it, so I got a pajama set.
Nice.
Like Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
We love Baby Yoda around here too.
And it's talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
like the snacks on the shirt, so it's even more me because I'm a foodie. So
Yeah.
nom nom nom.
All right. What was the next question, Lex?
Favorite
Daddy's getting tired because he's old now.
favorite movie.
We did favorite movie. We did
Oh, yeah.
favorite TV show. What's next?
Let's see. Do you listen to any podcasts?
I did really like the Joe Rogan and I like Gary V. But I didn't really listen to Joe Rogan all the time, but I do really like how he is more open and he's actually getting like information talking about these things. Because growing up, there was like nobody wanted to talk about these things, and it's just there, and it's like that's something I love because it didn't exist. Like the internet was so different when I was a kid, and when I wanted to find out information, the internet wasn't there, and when it was wrong. Like I think I looked up, like I was trying to find out about animals and pets, and I was telling chat, I was like, the only thing I could find out were things that were wrong. One was like animals didn't feel pain, and one was something else, and obviously animals feel pain. But I was like, that was the only thing I could find on like these kids have unlimited knowledge that they can tap into at any time. And I was like, man, if I had that growing up, how different I would have been. And because I grew up in a small town, like if I had access to all these different people, and you know, I would have felt better because I felt so different than the people I grew up with. And like because you're from a small town, you go to the same school growing up. These people have the same friends the whole time, and it's hard to make friends. You do one thing, and they just judge you the whole time and never want to be your friend. So like that was really hard. So I don't know if there was between 100 and 200 people maybe in our graduating class.
How many do you say?
I want to see. I don't know if it was 200 or 100. I think maybe about 200 in our graduating class. But it was weird because like we had our elementary schools, and then there was like 3 of them, and there's 2 elementary schools. Now there's 3 there, and it goes into 1 middle school, and then it went into 1 high school.
Yeah.
So
that's similar to mine. I grew up in the country, so my graduating class was 64.
Oh wow, that's even that's small.
So I know what you mean in terms of the small
Mine was
town
a big
stuff for sure.
yeah. And then like it was really weird because when you go into 6th grade, that's when all the elementary schools go to middle school. So like you just assume everybody was at the was from the other school. So the people that were new that year, you didn't really realize that they were new. You just assumed they went to the other school. So, but because it was so small, anytime there was a new student, you knew. And everybody's like, "How do you know I'm new?" We're like, "Well, we all know everybody because we've grown up with them."
Oh, mine was totally opposite. I think I had like 500 people in my.
That would have been cool.
In my graduating class, like it was just abundant, and like, I mean, it was literally Phoenix, Arizona. It's like the biggest city, one of the biggest cities. So,
that would have been an interesting conversation topic with Gracie last week. Hers was sick. It was like 2,000. It's huge.
Wow.
Yeah. So the football stadiums in this area are like just for the high school are like hold 20,000 people.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
It's crazy. They have like $2 million football stadiums for high school.
Yeah, Texas.
Texas.
Texas. Yeah.
All
Texas
people
and
care
Texas.
about Texas.
Both. Texas.
But yeah, they have some big schools, and they also have some really small schools. So
yeah. I always wanted to like move, and like in high school, my mom went to a nurse conference in California, and she's like, "Man, they pay big bucks in Texas for nurses." And I was like, "Mom, just get a job there. Let's go. Let's move. I want to like start over and meet new people and like country music and steaks and people have manners and whatever." I was like, "Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's move." But I mean, you're gonna get good and bad everywhere. But I just wanted out of where I was from. I wanted something different.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm gonna stick away from the favorites But
Uh-oh.
what a really cool question that we had in the Ask Me Anything was, who is your biggest inspiration?
Biggest inspiration. Other than my mom, because she had a really tough childhood and she still like remained like humble and kind and like reflected that on me. Like if we have to think like if we say like other than that and we think about like celebrities, for celebrities it would be Elon Musk and Neil deGrasse Tyson. How do you say his name?
He is in our. I don't know if you noticed that. Yeah, he's in our celebrity list.
Yeah, like
so we have a channel point redemption, and we can try to get a celebrity guest on, and he's in there. So there you go.
That would be lit. Let me tell you.
I've seen him. I've seen him twice, at least twice.
No way.
Yeah.
There was this thing. I got like this ad on Instagram, and I was like, "Oh, cool." But then when we clicked on it, the tickets were like really expensive, and I was like, "Oh."
He's amazing.
Like, can't afford that, but I would love it, and he's really good at understanding that people understand information at different levels. So America used to have a reading level of like 8th grade level like 10 years ago. I don't know if it's that same level or if it went down, but he can take something really complex and explain it really simply that everyone understands. And that's something that I really love and respect about him, because like physics and stuff like that, physics and space, like, it's all really interesting, and he can just like have these ideas and just, I don't want to say dumb it down. I don't want to say like that, but like he can speak to it so everyone can enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, but he has amazing topics, and it's like,
oh yeah, I love him so much. Man crush Monday. I love him.
Do you want to know what he's like in person? I mean, not like I know him for real, but like to see him in person is absolutely incredible, because
it's electrifying.
I saw him at the Salesforce conference. So this is a Salesforce conference. I'm sorry.
I wanted to go to Salesforce and do training.
Yeah, this was actually the Tableau conference. So it was a Tableau conference. I saw him. Oh, but at the Salesforce conference, I did see Barack Obama, which was pretty amazing.
I
was pretty close to him too. I got really close to well. Whatever. Different story. We should just have a different night of just like impressive people that I've had the privilege to see.
He is one. And growing up, I really did like Ellen. I know like she's getting told off, and there's the rumors about her treating her staff dodgy, but she's had to formally come out and apologize about that. But she's, I did love watching her talk show growing up.
But with
Obama,
with Neil deGrasse Tyson. So Neil deGrasse Tyson was the speaker, the keynote speaker. So he gets up and he gives a presentation, and it's really loose. It's impressive how he does it. No slides, no notes. He has some visual cues. It's like basically like a TED Talk. It's fantastic. So he does the whole thing for like an hour. And then he goes into an Ask Me Anything session where literally he's just taking questions from the crowd. And this is a crowd of 10,000 people.
Oh my God.
Well,
wow.
After this session is an all-night party, all full drinks, closed down the street at Fremont Street. We all take the bus and have concerts. But nobody wants to leave because we're just watching Neil deGrasse Tyson answer question after question after question. No matter what the question or the topic, he has an opinion on it, and he'll talk to you as long as you want, until someone interrupts him. This is okay. Next question.
Love that.
Anything. So it's like, wow, like that's really an amazing talent. So that was amazing. So we ended up being late to the party because we just sat there and watched him talk for over an hour. I think we watched him on the Ask Me Anything for longer than his presentation, because he would just love talking.
That's amazing. And sharing information.
Yeah.
Huge. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like when I was working at the one company, they flew us to New York City for a weekend, and I wanted to go. He works at like the space or science museum in Manhattan, and like I wanted to go and be like, can I meet you? But I was like, I bet there's some kind of like security, because he probably gets that all the time. But I wanted to be like, yo, can we just like open up and talk about all this kind of stuff? I'm sure you get asked like dumb stuff all the time, but like, come on, just like. I wanted to do it, and like I didn't do it, but like if I had the opportunity to meet him, I would love to just hear him talk, and like yeah.
Well, so now much. we have the platform to do it. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, someone needs
on the list.
It's on the list.
He's on the list. He's on the list.
Yep. Gotta manifest it,
Yeah.
And then Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is a good one too.
Elon Musk. I love when you guys posted like something about him the other day on Twitter. I was like, oh my god.
I am head
I
over
wish-
heels in love with that man.
I wish he would get his Instagram back, and he found it too distracting for certain things. But I still wish he had that. But he does Twitter as his main source. I don't care how many times I try to at him and if people think I'm crazy because I try to at him. Like today I was like at Elon Musk, what's our estimated time for Mars? Like I want to know that. Just come on, tell us. And then like when he became the richest person, he's just like, okay, cool, back to work. But like that's his whole mission is to get to Mars. He created Tesla so people use like less of the gasoline and products so he can use that for his spaceships. And everybody's like, focus on your cars and your stocks. And it's like, no, he just did that to cause the ripple effects and make everybody else make the switch, you know? It doesn't matter if he has like the best cars, like electric cars and stuff like that, as long as other people have changed it and they're getting off the fuel that he needs to go to space. Because it's going to be a limited time of fuel, and if we don't have enough to get there, we can miss our chance. But maybe we'll develop something new that can power different type of spaceships to get
He's
there.
basically the modern day Iron Man.
I know. I'm like, when is he going to come save us?
I'm
Like, I want to see his suit. Like, if he was flew over London, I'd be like, yeah, that's Elon Musk. That's my hero. Like, I support you.
Grab him.
Yeah.
Clip
And I
that.
remember, and it was funny because when Brad brought up the thing about Neil, I seen this thing that Elon Musk has done. He had all these people in the room and he was asking these questions about Mars, and I realized like they had Burning Man go on recently, so all these people, like one person hijacked the whole thing. They started saying like, oh, I was at Burning Man, there's a lot of poo there, what are you gonna do at the space? And he's like, don't worry about that, that's not the issue. And like the whole thing got hijacked by all the different people like making comments of that, and you could tell he's like, I've already said like, don't worry about this issue, let's move on. And like they just kept going this, and he basically flushed all the people off of that, and then I think he just started over with a new group of people in a new session. And I was just like, I love that how he was like trying to meet these people. And
Yeah.
somebody asked him, they're like, why didn't you hire me for this position? He goes, I never had that position. But I was like, that's the dumbest thing you could ask him, like when he wants to try to get to Mars. Like you're asking for self-gain, come on, do something more useful and helpful to him. So
Can we put him on the list? Is he on the list, Brad?
if he's not on the list,
Who?
should.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, let me look. Let's see who's on the list, because the problem is we have to take somebody off.
Oh, why can there be too many people on the list?
Because you can't. Like the amount of characters, I had to actually be thoughtful. So let me tell you who's on there. How
So
do we
two
do it?
space people you can't have.
Who do we have on the list?
I'm telling you.
Remind
Hang on 1 second here. Why can't? Where's? Oh, I gotta enable it. Oh.
Uh oh.
How about that? I have
Amateurs.
to enable it. Amateur hour. We'll edit
Oh,
this out. We'll edit
Somebody
this
said
out.
they
Don't
made him
you worry.
food.
Edit it out.
Oh my gosh.
Nunita, tell us about that.
Yeah, tell us, Nunita. Was it Elon she's talking about?
Yeah. No, Neil deGrasse Tyson. There we go.
Oh,
Start.
wow. Okay.
Ah.
Okay, so now community challenge started. So let's see. Let's see who's in here.
I think I'm out of my
We've
water.
got.
Okay.
Can you see it? Matthew McConaughey, Dax Shepard,
Oh,
Dirk Nowitzki,
wow.
Mark Cuban, Neil deGrasse Tyson, or Steven Dubner. So the only person I can think of that we would take off here would be Steven Dubner, because you guys probably don't know who that is, but he's like the equivalent, but in the economics world. So I'm down with taking off.
Take him
Let's
off.
see.
Elon.
Who are we gonna put on?
Economics is
Elon
so
Musk.
impressive. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Okay, that's fine. I'm down for
It's
that.
Elon.
Elon. Okay. Sorry, Steven Dubner. I tried.
But if it's like Elon, you gotta have to ask him like real impressive questions that are gonna make him think about his mission to Mars. It can't be like, oh, like what's your favorite food or color? You have to ask him
We'll
things
go a
on
little
his level to
deeper.
get him thinking. Yeah, it's gotta be next level stuff with him. 'Cause
Yeah.
I wouldn't want his time to feel
Wait a minute.
wasted.
I can't edit it, so that's it. It's live.
Oh.
Well, we'll just have Elon in there. If we hit it, we'll assume Elon is a write-in option.
Do you guys remember when he had that announcement like a year or two ago, and he's like, if anybody can make me happy or find something that makes me happy, I'll pay you all this money. I wonder if his like new girlfriend and wife and baby did that for him, or if he's still. I mean, they talk about his medical condition. I don't want to bring that up, but I hope he finds happiness. I know he's set on his mission to Mars, but I hope he can be happy for moments too.
Yeah.
I guess other than just trying to save humanity and all of us.
I know. Can you imagine having that brain? I can't wrap my own around it. But
if I could plug in and tap into that brain and just see how it goes, that'd be amazing.
One day we'll have him on. I promise.
I mean, he's making that Neuralink thing. That's interesting. So
The what?
Neuralink. That's one of his companies.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's interesting.
He's let's see, another question that we had was
If
actually
money,
from Grace.
money, I got it right here. It's from her. If money weren't a concern, where would you love to live? That's from Gracie. Did you see that one?
Gracie.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I don't think I would want to be stuck anywhere.
Oh,
I would want to move around. Yeah, I would want to travel and meet new people and try food and learn about their cultures and their beliefs and everything. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be stuck somewhere. And then you can always go back to your family and friends when like you feel lonely and stuff. So I would just want to keep going, just learn as much as I can about this planet and the people on it. And
I love that.
Yeah, so it's not
a good answer.
That's a good answer. I like it.
Yeah. I love that. A wanderer. Let's see another question.
Wanderer.
Yeah. Good. That's exciting. Where do you see yourself in 3 years?
I don't even know where I see myself tomorrow. So
there you go.
What? No. That can't be
true.
Are not getting away that easy. This is tell me more.
Yeah, but like,
you are going to
hard because like there's COVID. They were saying 1 in 30 people have COVID in London. In some areas in London, it's 1 in 20. I don't know if maybe like Canada might go out and like touch something, and then somehow I get it, and like I won't be alive in a month. Like you don't know what's gonna happen. Like you don't know. You could get hit by a car. Like you just don't know. It's hard.
You're not wrong by any
means.
But
you have visions. Maybe you don't know where you're going to be tomorrow, but you have visions of where you're going to be in 5 years or 10 years. There's no way you don't. Like,
helping people.
Do you think? Can you see yourself being married? Can you see yourself having kids? Can you see yourself living somewhere else? Can you see yourself being still Twitch streaming 5 years from now, doing it for 7 years? Do you see that as an option? Do you think you'll have a real full-time office job? Like, do any of those things sound scary, or like no way, or that sounds not so bad? What do you think?
Kind of like all of it, honestly.
Yeah.
You go to the office and there's pros and cons about being at the office, pros and cons about working from home, pros and cons about like traveling. Most people, their complaints about when they travel for work is like they get the first flight in, they do their meeting, and then they come back after the meeting where they don't actually get to go out and experience where they go. So if they actually had a couple times to like learn about it, I think that would be nice too. Mm-hmm. So that way it's like less stressful. I think companies need to evolve a bit more than what they are, unfortunately. So I don't know. I know that like whatever I do, I would want to, like if I was working in a company, I want to know what's going on in all areas. I want to know what the problems are to see if I can help them, or if I know someone that can help in that situation. So I want to see everything that's going on through the company. Mm-hmm. I want to listen to everyone and listen to their feedback and see like, oh, that's actually a good idea. And if I didn't talk to you, we wouldn't know to fix it. I don't want like, just because someone's filling in a role, that role doesn't really define who they are. You don't know what their life has consisted of other than that title. So you should be like really open. Like if you're not open about like what your company's goal is, then how can you get people to be excited about it and have passion and want to be there, instead of just be like bored and feel like this is my 9 to 5, I hate it, but I just do it to get by and I can manage it. Like you want to feel inspired to like go do what you do, whatever it is. It doesn't even, you could be happy, cleaning the floor. It doesn't matter. If it makes you happy, then go do it. And why shouldn't someone pay you the big bucks to clean a floor when people don't want to do it and it's taxing on your body, your back's gonna hurt? And why not? People like see a title and like they judge them, and like people get different respect for their titles, and it's no.
Yeah, I think everyone's really had to. I mean, so many people have lost their jobs or their interests. Right now, I think we've all kind of had to take a step back and like who am I outside of the hustle, and like what does genuinely make me happy, or like what do I want to do when this is all over? So I think we're all kind of feeling that right now. Like I know I am for sure. Like we gotta find that passion again and like that excitement to do things, you know? And I think like thank God for Twitch, because oh my God. I don't know what I would do.
I made a joke on Twitter. I was like, Twitch is life, and somebody just like went off on me. And it was like, it was a joke, and you took it out of context. Yes, I know my family and my friends are important and like all this other stuff, but like Twitch has made my life better. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about Twitch that can be bad, but like having my Twitch experience and knowing my community and knowing you guys has made my life better, and I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't give that experience up. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Nice.
Yeah. Whether I do it in 5 years, I don't know, because maybe it might evolve into something else. I can't see the future, but
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice that you don't find any of those things scary. That's the good part, because some people would hear things and like, oh, there's no way I would want to, and there's no, you know. And
but
it's
that's
nice
good for them because they know what they don't want to do. It helps them find what they do want to do.
That's true. That's true.
So they cross that off the list and they're like, nope, not for that. So they've got that going for them.
I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up, Fuzzy.
Same.
Oh yeah, same.
And what about the people that want to be a doctor and they go to med school for all these years and then 2 years after being a doctor, they don't want to be a doctor? And it's like, well, you did all that schooling, you put all that money into it. And I've seen that happen with people that I know. Like their parents like forced them to be a doctor and they didn't want to be a doctor. And I said, well, what if you look into like the lawyer side and like help write laws and defend patients and do that type of stuff? And they said, like, I find that actually more fascinating. I was like, well, there you go. You don't have to be diagnosing the patient. You can say this is malpractice. And this doctor actually did try to like put you on drugs you shouldn't be on and try to kill you or whatever, you know, whatever. Dodgy people in any field. So.
Yeah. Good eggs and bad eggs.
Yeah.
I only have one more question for you.
Oh, man. Only one. It was so
weird.
Fun. I was like, it.
I got through all these? Wow. But it's about your blog.
Okay.
Which is, so what made you start blogging? What great... Blah, blah, blah. Where did that creative outlet come from for you? Were you always into writing?
I really liked writing in school. And then we had a teacher in high school and we had like a journal that we would keep, and every so often like she would let us like write in the journals. The journals were kept in school. I don't know if she ever read them or not, but she said you could write everything you wanted, and sometimes I would just like write a word like really big that took up the whole page, and I was like, yeah, like why not? Like who cares? She said we could do what we wanted, and if she looks at it, I'd be like, well, you said I could do what I wanted, and I wanted to write this word that took up the whole page. And then sometimes I would draw, sometimes I'd write things about just like whatever in life, and I liked that. And then I think I had a hard time when I went to college because I couldn't write like I and my feelings. It was all about the paper, and you had to structure things different, and that made me not like writing. But then that's actually when I fell in love with the library for my first time, so that was huge. Because I didn't like books. I wanted to have my own experiences and do things. But when I was in college, I was like, oh, you know what? Now I finally get what people like about reading, what my mom always wanted to push on me about reading. And I was like, I was like, she's not here to witness it, but I know she'd be happy that I finally found that I like reading now.
I love that.
So I liked reading. And the thing was, like, with the writing on the blog, that's like your time to speak. Nobody can interrupt you. You just have that time to put down your thoughts and like write your story. Maybe somebody will read it, maybe somebody will not, but like that's on their time. Like your time was reading it, and then like they can decide if they read a paragraph or if they want to read the whole story, and they can come back to it. So like that's all on their time for them to like get to know like your story and your situation. But yeah, I was trying to spread like positivity in the work office. I was telling you guys a little bit about it. We had this light box, and the girl before me put the facts up there. And when I changed, I was like, facts, yeah, whatever. And then I was like, I was really like, wanted to push people being more positive and enjoying coming to work and hanging out and stuff. So I was putting positive quotes up there. And then I was like, yeah, I like doing that. And people criticize it. They're like, oh, I think it's so dumb. And I was like, yeah, you probably would because you don't really like anything. But I didn't see that to them. It's like, yeah, okay. Get out of my face, girl. Keep walking. So then I like said to a couple of people I was really close with, I was like, you know, I've got all these emotions and feelings and experiences, and I was like, what if I just start like rating, and like what if it helps somebody? I said maybe nobody will read it, but at least I have it out there. And what if like that one person just finds something I wrote and that's like what speaks to them and changes it for them? And then I did that, and I was having fun doing that. And then I went through like a toxic period, so it kind of went a bit bad. But I was still expressing how I felt. And then I think I started like going full circle and getting back to how I was when I started it. So I'm happy about that. And then I also like want to start writing more about like the gaming experience in Twitch life. So I think I'm gonna have to make two, one that's like all life and everything, and the one that's gaming. And like I've been doing it, but I just haven't like separated it. So that's the next step. Just separate it and then have those.
Oh, it's good. That'd be great. It's a story that needs to be told.
I think
you should tell it. That's exciting. I know. I used to blog, and now you're like inspiring me to get back into it. I really
blog about Tetris, blog about this show, blog about your job, blog about like what's like school, getting your master's while streaming on the side. Like do it.
I know. I had it because I started in like high school because I had a lot of like medical problems in high school, and I was very overweight. So I had a blog called My Mission to Change, is what I called it.
That is such a good name. Oh my god, what a marketing genius you are.
And it's still somewhere in the world, and I would always come back to it, and like it was like known in like my like friend group and stuff like that, and it helped people understand like who I was, because I mean I was like president of the drama club and the choir, like I was like really active, but like oh my god, you would never know that this person is actually like, you know, struggling. So, because who talks about that stuff comfortably out in the universe? So having that kind of outlet where people can understand you, where you can kind of like express your emotions and your feelings, like you're reminding me why I loved it so much. And I'm like, maybe
that's why you should do it.
Yeah, you're like reminding me.
Passion. And I think it'd be really cool if you can give a big update of like what's going on. You'd be like, sorry, I didn't write for a while, but like here's what's been going on with me, and this is where I'm at. I think that'd be really nice.
So.
Well, you know, Lex, we could just have it be part of the Tell Me More. What I'm kind of envisioning here for the website is just different sections there, where people give people a chance to just write and have their own section. So if anyone's ever a guest or a host in the show, you'll have your own dedicated spot on the site where you can go and use it to tell your story.
Cool.
So that might be, I don't know, that might be a fun thing to do. So
that way you have the platform. Like you said, Lex.
I'm telling you.
That way we just put the infrastructure there. You put the infrastructure there, and then it's there whenever you're ready, you can just use it.
That's good.
That's very exciting.
Just do it.
We did it. We got through it.
We did it on time too. We started a little bit early, and we ended a little bit early. We ended 5 minutes early, and we did great.
And I'm sure the sun is shining now in the UK, so
it was Lex's story that got me to a healthier. Oh, that is sweet.
Wait, what?
What happened? What happened?
Lanita said it was Lex's story that got me to be healthier for me and my family.
Oh wow.
Oh, thanks.
That's true, because like in America there are a lot of people that are there's people overweight all over the world, even more so in America, or like when you're outside of the city in England versus London, or you know, like wherever. And it's whether or not is it because they're doing TV, or is it because they have health condition, these medicines or side effects, and that's adding on to it. But you have to think about it, like at the end of the day, you have to take a look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I happy with myself if I continue this lifestyle? Am I going to be here 5 years to be with my family and my friends? Right. Or will this cause me serious health complications? I might not be here. So they have to like people need to make that decision. Like that is your life. And maybe if you don't care about yourself, other people care about you. And you need to think like how, like if you feel like that, you should actually you should open up and talk to those people. Yeah. So that they can actually, you know, help encourage you on your way. Who knows? So maybe they want to go out walking with you, or they'll do like a webcam like workout with you. You never know.
Oh yeah.
It opens the dialogue, and a lot of people are struggling with it.
Yeah.
So.
My secret to, I really, I would always like push myself and try to make myself do like the traditional workout. You know, like, oh, I need to go to the gym, or I need to run, or I need to do these things, right? And I would always fail because it was something that I didn't want to do. So it was a workout, right? And so it wasn't until one year I made a New Year's resolution. It was about 5 years ago or so, to never run again. I said, I'm never gonna run again. I refuse to run. And you know what? I'm gonna just work out the way I want to work out. And I just started taking walks and just not feeling guilty about not running, because I fucking hate running. And when I do it, I hate it. And I had to stop forcing myself to do something the way I thought it had to be done. And instead of forcing myself to try and do it that way, just take a healthier approach to life and just do different things. But that was a big deal, and it really helped me a lot. So like now it's taking a walk every day instead of like forcing myself to go for a run. But I know there's lots of people who run, and I used to have the attitude of like dismissive, like, oh, I hate running, I can't run, blah, 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 I don't know how you do it. But now I'm trying to like see it differently and be like, well, that's amazing. Congratulations that you can do that. That's super impressive. Because you know what? I wish I could run, and maybe someday I'll get back into it and I will enjoy it. But at that stage in my life, it was holding me back. It was a challenge I was not ready to overcome. And it was something that I had to just put off and tackle that for later.
That's so cool that you're self-aware of that. Like, this makes me unhappy. Yeah. Not I'm lazy. You found a solution for it. It wasn't I'm never gonna run again, I'm gonna sit on the couch forever instead. It was, well, what can I do to replace it and genuinely make myself happy?
Yeah.
And there's
I want to run for the right reasons. So like I think at some point I will like find it. But when you have this mental block in there, it's like I suck at this thing, I'm never gonna be any good at it, then like no, it's the worst. But someday I think I'll find the joy in it. Not to make it, but I think
I'm
there's
curious
definitely
though about that. Like, how far did you like when you didn't like running? It was because were you planning to run a certain distance all at once or anything? Did you start with just running 1 second and see to do that, and then just running 2 seconds, and then just try to run 10 seconds and that's it? Like, did you try to keep it really simple, or were you just like, I want to run a 5K, I can't run a 5K?
No, I would do the plans. So I would do the couch to 5K things, and I would it's not. I'm not here to tell you like I can't do it. I was able to run 5K. But the point
That's
is
impressive to me because I can't.
The point is, it's.
But you don't like it.
I hated it. Like it was like telling me to go to work. You know what I mean? Like I would wake up in the morning like motherfucker. Whereas now I wake up like, and I'm excited to put on my shoes and go take a walk. You know what I mean? It's a big difference. So let's just go ahead and get ready here for our next episode. So I have on Tuesday is going to be a live stream from my house with my good friend. Actually, I say good friend. I haven't seen him in like 3 years. I haven't seen the guy in like 3 years. He was my good coworker friend. His name is Bablu. And he's now the director of analytics at IBM.
Whoa!
So talk about a big name to have on the show.
That is a big title.
Big title. He has my old job, so it'll be interesting to catch up. To catch up on that, cool. And then so we're going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin and a bunch of nerdy stuff. So Fuzzy, make sure you're here for that and hear all about. He's young. He's probably 29. He might be in his 30s.
My God!
Just recently got married. Just recently bought a house. Let's hear all about.
Ask if he was single.
Let's hear all about that. It'll be live from either from my backyard or from the studio here. So that'll be Tuesday, and then Thursday we're gonna have Mewtwo, right?
Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Mewtwo Struck Back. So we are gonna send the raid over to Mewtwo Struck Back. So on the guy we're gonna raid next is Mewtwo Struck Back. He's currently playing Mario 35. So Mewtwo is the master of pretty much anything he puts his mind to. It's incredible. So he's going to be fascinating to have on. He's going to talk to us about Tetris, Dave and Buster's. He's a Dave and Buster's millionaire. He like knows how to hack all those games so he can get like Nintendo Switches for free all the time.
He has shows on that stuff.
Yeah, he's a little bit famous in that world. He's going to talk about Pokemon stuff, obviously, with a name like Mewtwo. He used to write for Beckett Sports, so that'll be interesting to hear about that. And he's also a bit of a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So we have a pretty diverse bit of topics here we can talk about. And then the next week, we've got Christy Got Jokes. Christy Got Jokes is a local Dallas streamer who's also full-time recently, who used to be a stand-up comedian, improv. So we'll hear from her story. And then and then Tuesday, we've got Aman Alvani, who is also a former co-worker who's a data scientist at IBM and at Uber. And he presented with me at Tableau Conference to over 1,000 people. So we have some awesome people coming up. So lots of guests and fun stuff. And we have Boss, who's going to be coming up too. And then we have the Vegas trip coming. So big stuff on the horizon. You can catch all these episodes on YouTube. Guys, soon. Peace out.
Follow button.
All right.